Unity is a 4-letter word. Yes, I know unity actually has 5 letters in it, but we often treat it like it is a 4-letter word, a word that cuts and divides, a word that we often use in a way that is completely opposite of its meaning. Now, unity is a noun, and it is defined as the state or quality of being one, or united into a whole, or being in accord, like being in harmony with one another. When and where do we see that in life anymore? Seriously, I'll wait. Unity as a concept has gone from being a practical and achievable standard we all agree should exist for everyone in our community and our culture to something that looks anything but unified. We are divided as a people in so many ways. And while we are still touting the virtues of being truly united, it's hypocrisy in its truest form. So, if the real definition of unity no longer applies, how do we shift our thinking to restore the reality of what unity is? Well, maybe we should start by breaking down what unity is not. Unity is not everyone agreeing on everything all the time. Unity is not having all of the same answers. And unity is not sameness at the expense of the individual. Being one, part of a whole, and in accord does not mean that we say, do, and think the exact same way. But that's how we have branded unity in our broken culture today. If we say, do, or think differently than others in a group, we are seen as dissident and against the group. And a lot of times that means that we are seen as the enemy. In reality, we use unity to describe disunity, creating an us versus them mentality. If they think differently about this one thing, then we cannot be in accord about anything. And if that is the case, we must be enemies. Unity, to people who think like this, is a blade that divides the whole of humanity into a small echo chamber of groups that fit into one of 2 categories: people who think exactly like us and everyone else. And those 2 groups are diametrically opposed in the small minds of those who think like that. Our politicians are a prime example of that. Both sides, all sides, for the most part, embrace this us versus them mentality of unity. And it seems to be all the politicians and bureaucrats in our government, the elected, the appointed, both men and women. If we watch the news, we see it every day. In the world of politics, they must feed the cravings of the us versus them mentality of their political base. And that, in a word, is stupid. Now, so many people outside of the political world act like unity in our country, whatever country we live in, means you have to agree with me on everything, or you are unpatriotic. You must vote the way I do, or you're a communist or a fascist. The reality of this type of thinking, especially when it comes to the concept of unity, is unequivocally wrong and ultimately broken. A broken reality, and brokenness like that takes a lot of hard work to be reunified, because those concepts are opposite sides of our reality. That said, there are political outliers, people in the political system who work across party lines, people who think for themselves and make decisions that serve their constituents regardless of party affiliation, which is the single job of every elected official, to serve the people who elected them and everyone who voted for someone else. Sorry, story for another day, but those outliers in the political world are an example that we should copy in our own lives. So what should unity look like today? Well, we need to see unity as a desire to be a part of the whole, and for the most part, being of the same accord in a generally unified way. See, True unity is being willing to be a part of something whether or not we agree with everything that everyone else thinks or does. And at the same time, showing the other people the respect that we all deserve, regardless of the differences that we may have. Now, that said, unity is a four-letter word to some people because they see themselves as so unique and different from everyone else that they deserve to be in a special group that doesn't need to be unified with any other group that is not as special as them, regardless of the specific defining special characteristic. That's just wrong. We are all created by God with all of the same building blocks. Sure, some of us may have hardships and obstacles of all sorts, and others do not, and vice versa, but we all hold the same value in this world. True unity does not mean that we have to change who we are, but it does mean that we have to be okay with allowing some things in the group to not line up with who we believe ourselves to be. Unity cannot be about us as individuals, or it's just not unity. Okay, as we wrap up, I want to be very, very clear. I am not saying that we, the entire population of the world, need to be unified with everyone else on everything in life. That is not possible by any stretch of the imagination. We have cultural, socioeconomic, and religious differences that make unity across every part of life impossible. But we can be unified in smaller contexts. We can be unified as citizens of our country, regardless of party. We can be unified in our local community, whether we have lots of money or very little. And we can find ways to be unified if we are willing to open our hearts and minds to being part of the lives of people who don't say, do, and believe everything exactly the same way that we do. So how do we get to true unity? Well, in my humble opinion, true unity only comes from faith in the Lord God and in the salvation that comes to anyone who believes in the perfect life of Jesus and his finished work on the cross to pay the debt that we each deserve. That belief can bridge the gap of broken unity in our world, and it can create a unity based on the only thing that can truly unify the vastness of thoughts and opinions in our world: the love of Jesus. See, unity is not what we think it is. That true unity I just mentioned, that is so much more than we can even imagine. And it is the one thing that I desire that everyone embraces in this life. That kind of unity binds us together and embraces the differences that God has given to each of us. So let's all embrace that kind of unity as we go, create, and be a blessing. You can support our channel by subscribing, hitting that bell icon to get notified when new content comes out, and liking our videos. If you'd like to consider supporting our team financially, there's a link in the video description with more details. Those things will help our channel for sure, but if you do nothing else, please spend some time in the comments of our videos encouraging one another to create, to help others create, and to help grow that creative nature within us all. Oh, and you can check out these videos too. Thanks. We'll see you again soon.